Imagine a woman waking up in 2026. She feels a weight on her chest, a silent heaviness she can't quite name. It's not sadness, not depression, not anger. It's something deeper. She was never taught to call it exhaustion, or loneliness, or emotional burnout, but it's there. Quiet, sticky, invisible as. If someone secretly added 100 pounds to her expectations overnight, modern life was supposed to give women freedom, empowerment, and opportunity. Yet for millions, it feels like the opposite. It feels like endless pressure, the kind that demands everything and forgives nothing. She opens her phone, and within seconds she's reminded of who she should be: successful, attractive, financially independent, socially active, and perfectly composed. Not too emotional, not too cold, not too ambitious, not too passive. She must be everything at once, but never too much of anything. And while she juggles all this in her mind, she also has to function in the real world, with a job, bills, relationships, and a constant feeling of not doing enough. This is the psychological reality for so many modern women. Polished on the outside, quietly collapsing on the inside. Society praises women for being strong, independent, and resilient. But beneath this praise lies a hidden truth. Modern life is emotionally breaking women. Not because they are weak, but because the demands placed on them have become inhuman. For thousands of years, women had defined roles. They were limiting, unfair, and often oppressive, but they were clear. There were rules to follow. Today, women are told they can choose any path. But that freedom comes with an invisible weight. The weight of unlimited responsibility and infinite expectations. Now, she must not only build her own life, she must design the blueprint, manage the construction, and maintain the structure, all while never letting it crack. She has to succeed in a world still built on male expectations, compete in workplaces that ignore her biological needs, and carry the emotional labor of her relationships while pretending not to notice the imbalance. She must stay youthful in a society terrified of women aging and stay soft in a world that punishes softness. And the universal rule is, if she fails, she has no one to blame but herself. This silent burden shapes her inner world, creating a constant emotional strain. Social media makes it worse, forcing her to compare her ordinary life to everyone else's curated highlights. Perfect homes, perfect bodies, perfect relationships. Even when she knows it's filtered and fake, it chips away at her. Why can't I keep up? Why do I feel so behind? She starts to see her exhaustion as a personal failure, not realizing that her exhaustion is societal. Modern life demands superhuman emotional resilience from women while offering almost no emotional support in return. In relationships, she's expected to be the emotional caretaker. She has to sense moods, manage conflicts, remember birthdays, and provide comfort, often without getting the same in return. If she asks for support, she's called needy. If she doesn't, she's distant. If she expresses her feelings, she's dramatic. If she keeps them to herself, she's cold. It feels like a no-win situation. In friendships, she's the loyal, supportive listener, the therapist of her social circle. But she often finds herself absorbing everyone's pain with nowhere to put her own, silently drowning in her own struggles. In her career, she's pressured to outperform just to get the same respect. She has to hide her tiredness, her stress, her natural emotional sensitivity, because professional environments often reward more masculine emotional frameworks. So she adapts, suppresses, or numbs herself. She doesn't slow down, because slowing down means falling behind. She becomes efficient and productive, but emotionally disconnected from herself. In her family, she is the glue, the planner, the organizer, the peacemaker. Even with a full-time job, she often carries the mental load of the household. The world calls her strong, but strength without rest isn't empowerment tights exploitation. The truth that many women QAUN say out loud is that modern life feels like a never-ending exam they were never prepared for. They keep pushing forward, not because they are thriving, but because they have no other choice. They don't want to disappoint anyone. They don't want to be seen as weak. So they suppress the emotional toll until it erupts. This eruption can look like sudden burnout, an identity crisis, or an emotional collapse. But nothing about it is sudden. It's the accumulated exhaustion finally reaching its breaking point. Women today are told they can have it all: career, family, beauty, fulfillment. But no one told them that having it all really means doing it all, alone, without help, without room to breathe. This impossible standard destroys their self-esteem, leaving them feeling like they're failing at everything. Her anxiety rises, her self-worth plummets, and her emotional reserves drain until there's nothing left. And the moment she breaks, she's called fragile or dramatic, as if the world around her played no part. One of the biggest burdens is the constant need to perform emotional perfection. She must smile when she's exhausted, be polite when she's disrespected, and appear composed when her inner world is collapsing. This emotional performance becomes a cage. After years of suppressing her true feelings, she loses touch with herself. She forgets what she wants, what she needs, what she dreams about. And yet, a whisper inside her says, "You can't keep doing this. You are exhausted. You need help." But she ignores it because life doesn't pause for her. Bills don't pause. Work doesn't pause. Responsibilities don't pause. So she keeps going until her body intervenes. Anxiety, panic attacks, chronic fatigue, insomnia, emotional numbness. These aren't weaknesses. They are warning signs. They are her body screaming that modern life is pushing her beyond human limits. The most heartbreaking part is that women blame themselves for feeling broken. They think they are the problem, not strong enough, not patient enough, not resilient enough. But the truth is the opposite. Modern women are breaking because they have been too strong for too long. They've been carrying too many roles and fulfilling too many expectations, giving so much of themselves and receiving far too little in return. This emotional deficit is one of the biggest psychological burdens on women today. When she tries to talk about it, her feelings are often dismissed. Women today complain too much. "You're too sensitive. You have it easier than women in the past." But emotional pain doesn't need permission to exist. It just exists. And here is the deeper truth society avoids. Modern women are emotionally breaking not because they are weak, but because the structure of modern life is unsustainable. The pressures placed on women today are unlike anything in human history. They are expected to be traditional women and modern women at the same time, nurturing and domestic, yet independent and ambitious. All at once, no human can carry all of that without collapsing. This collapse is not a failure. It is a signal that modern life needs to be restructured, that emotional labor must be shared, that expectations must be realistic, that women must be allowed to be vulnerable without being judged. Women today are not breaking because they are too soft. They are breaking because they have been made to carry responsibilities that were once shared by entire communities. They are breaking because they have been pushed into a psychological marathon with no finish line. They are breaking because no one ever told them that strength without rest becomes self-destruction. And the most important truth of all is this: women don't want to escape real life. They want a real life that doesn't drain them. A life where being strong doesn't cost them their mental health. A life where they don't have to pretend they're fine when they're collapsing inside. A life where they can be human, flawed, tired, emotional, and evolving, without being criticized or dismissed. Modern women are not unable to handle real life. They are simply tired of handling everyone else's life except their own. And maybe, just maybe, the world is finally ready to listen. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Your feelings are valid. Let's continue this conversation in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing for more discussions like this.